Minute here. Here we go. I think we are officially live now. Let's
Hello.
check in YouTube. I always give it a good minute just to make sure everything's kind of going through because
let it spool up.
yeah, one time there we go. We are officially live on YouTube. Sweet.
Oh boy.
Close that down. And today's topic, as you can see, is called Ditch the SEO Company. So if you've been following us lately, we've been very vocal about really shady SEO companies still existing. Here we are in like 2024, and they're still doing really shady things. So that's what this video is going to be. Is we're going to talk about our experience with clients, and then we have a special guest here, Brian. If you want to introduce yourself.
Sure. Yeah, my name is Brian Deckard. We are a boutique marketing agency called Deckard and Company, and we're located on the Gulf Coast of Florida, just south of Tampa, in this beautiful little town called Bradenton.
Mm-hmm. I loved it down there. That was one of my favorite beaches. Was Longboat Key down there. I love Longboat Key. Yes.
Siesta Key is beautiful.
Yes, Siesta Key.
Yeah.
Good restaurants.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So yeah, we definitely have that a lot in common because I'm from that area, so I know very familiar down there.
Yep.
So all right, let me just. You want to introduce yourself? This is Barbara, of course.
I'm Barbara. You should know me. One thing I wanted to mention, I got a lot of people asking if there's going to be a replay of this because they either couldn't make it or they could only make it for a few minutes. Yes, there is going to be a replay. So if you can't catch the whole thing, you can always go back and watch it later.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess some people don't restream it. I don't know. Yeah, we always do because a lot of people can't make it, of course.
Yeah, not everybody has the same schedule. I understand that.
So yeah, we just kind of have 4 topics here, and I like to kind of put on the screen so we kind of just stay within a little topic here. But okay, yeah. So the very first topic I just want to talk about, I just want to get out of the gate. There's a lot of like really outdated techniques I still see like SEO companies using. And I mean, we recently had a client and they hired an SEO company and they still were doing really weird, outdated things. The one that really stood out to me was I asked the client, I was like, what is this SEO company doing? And they said that they're putting their website in a bunch of different directories still. So we can start with that one, like directories. Like, when did that ever work? I don't know. Do you have any experience if that ever worked?
I've got some really good stories as well. So, but I mean, as far as the directories go, yeah, when they first came out, I'm sure they worked a little bit. But as the years went on, it's just really honestly fallen off, right? It's like, that's not the important part. The most important part of your business and being online, especially if you're a local business, is that Google business profile.
Oh yeah.
That's the biggest directory that you need to belong to. These other ones.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. I have a lot of opinions about the Google business profile. It's changed a lot, and yeah, and we cover that later for sure. But yeah, you're right. That's a good directory. I think that like forums too. Like some people would like spam forums. Like that's like very very old school. But I mean, this company it was 6 months ago. They were still doing this. I was blown away that they still do it. Another thing that they were doing, and a lot of companies still do this, they create like a whole bunch of junk location pages for all of these like local cities. So this company outside of Philly, and they had all different areas, but they also tried to reach like the New York market too,
right?
All these little towns, and it was bad. Like I've seen it where there's 50 companies in the footer, and I don't know, like I don't see it as often, but in this situation, they were like 10 city pages deep. And I told the client, I was like, these things are doing you no good. If anything, Google is going to see you're trying to like perform like local cities. And yeah. Have you seen that too? The location pages everywhere. Yeah.
Well, they're trying to outsmart I call it the Google machine. They're trying to outsmart the Google machine, and the Google machine is not going to be outsmarted for long. It's going to find out. It's going to figure you out, and then it's going to penalize you. And once you're penalized, you're screwed.
Oh yeah,
you're screwed.
Yeah,
it's like, just do it right. Just do it right.
What I found with locations is you could just like sprinkle it throughout your content. Like on our website, I just have in our main footer, it always says like Philadelphia, and once in a while, like on a alt tag or something, I might throw it in there, or like a title here and there. I'm not like creating a Philadelphia page.
One thing that we done in the past is put the location where the client is.
Yes.
You know, so if the client is in Florida, we put that, or if it's in Philadelphia, we'll put that. And I mean, that's real information. It's not a location page. So
absolutely,
there's ways you can add location into your pages without it being spammy.
Yeah. A location page is useful actually if each location offers something unique. So if you just create the same template for all of your location pages and you just change out like one image and the city name, like of course Google is way smarter than that. Like if you if you do other things, like we're working on one right now, and how many offices are in this new one? Like maybe 20. But
there's like it's a big company what we're working on. They have at least 20 offices, and each office has a dedicated page with like their team members that work at that location, and it links to their bios and the specific things that they offer. So they're all a little different, but that makes sense.
You probably set that up kind of like a directory.
Almost,
yeah, that's pretty much what it is. But yeah, it's still going on. Like once in a while I'll see websites, like I said, and there'll be 50 location pages deep, and
I used to work for a company 20 years ago now, that was like their whole SEO strategy. And 20 years ago, it kind of worked. I always thought it was a bit ridiculous, but they were like swore it worked, but now it absolutely doesn't.
No. And that's just basically, it's duplicate content, which Google penalizes you for. Well, I got an even crazier story. So one of my clients hired this SEO firm. I don't even know where these geniuses were out of, but one day I logged into her site because I still maintained her website, kind of like you guys do, we maintain websites, and I logged in and there was over 300 new pages.
Oh wow.
And I can't make this up. And I was like, what on earth? And I'm looking through every page. It's duplicated content with a couple little rearranged stuff, same title.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what on earth? And I told them, I said, you're going to get penalized. And they did. They did. And to this day, they're like, can you help us? I'm like, no, you've gotten yourself into this. As a matter of fact, you can go elsewhere, because it's like, I told you not to use those people. And they did it. And it's, you use it at your own peril,
Right.
Black hat SEO, it's going to bite you in your buttocks.
That's the thing is, and I hope that people do listen to us, but not everybody's going to, and hopefully that doesn't happen where they do get penalized, but there's a good chance that it's going to happen. So hopefully you take this advice.
I've said a few times, I think clients are finally listening to me. I've been stressing this stuff for years. Like you can even go back to my channel. I've been stressing this since 2018, 2017, maybe even earlier. I was like,
you've been harping it. Yep.
Yeah. But now I'm starting to go all in on it. I'm starting to really, I'm getting really pissed that companies are still doing this. Yes. I'm like, it gets me.
Well, at the end of the day, it's such a waste of money for these clients. They could be spending the thousands of dollars that they gave to this SEO company on building a brand and doing something that's actually constructive and is going to move the needle.
Yeah.
And that's what we're all about, both of us, you know? So we just are tired of seeing these people try to like outrank the system and it ends up hurting them more than helping.
Well, the one thing that really helps when I do talk to our clients about this, I'm like, okay, just logically think about this. Like Google spends literally billions of dollars on their algorithms.
Yep.
And do you honestly think that this little SEO company that you have no idea who they are, that they know anything about how their algorithm works and that they can trick it? Like you have to really think about this. Like even if you worked at Google, even people that work at Google don't know how this stuff works. Like the different departments don't know what works and doesn't work. And it's actually kind of designed that way. So if you're part of like buying ads, that's not part of like the search team. So you can't. I think they don't even know how their algorithms work. Like they made it pretty clear. It's kind of on its own.
Yeah. Well, they roll these things out so often. It's like, how can you be well versed in your algorithm when it changes so much? It's like, I don't know what this does.
Yeah.
Right.
I used to tell clients that it changed, multiple times a year. I literally say it changes every day because it does. Like, and they run experiments all the time. And this is what is also kind of confusing about why the SEO company or agencies even exist. Because when you view it, like even if you're 10 minutes away from me, your results are going to be drastically different than mine. And we're
Absolutely.
location based. Like, so even if we're close to together, I might be getting a weird experiment that Google's giving, and then you're not. So I'm like,
Correct.
if I
Yeah.
try to deliver you results, you're not going to see it because it's an experiment. So
Yeah.
yeah.
And I think we're going to talk about this a little later, the AI.
Oh yeah. That's a whole
Yeah.
other thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
AI is
Yeah.
so let's go into the
The
next outdated technique, which is Google reviews.
oh yeah,
We
the
see a
fake
lot of
reviews.
companies with fake Google reviews, and for us, it's pretty obvious. I'm sure for you too, Brian.
Oh,
You
Yeah.
can see a company that has hundreds of reviews, and you know that they're not actual reviews. But not everybody understands what a fake review is. So how do you distinguish a fake review from a real review? What's
Well,
the
I'll
key?
give you an example. I was actually doing optimization for a local HVAC company,
Okay.
and I would harp on them. I mean, and they were with us for years, and I would harp on them every week. It seemed like you guys need to do some outreach and get some reviews. And they're like, meh, the typical meh, whatever.
Mhm.
Well, so they eventually left me and went with a bigger company out of California who's obviously doing fake reviews. So they're doing the fake, they're buying the reviews from someone because now all of a sudden they're getting all these reviews and you read it and they're all pretty generic.
Right.
They're not specific to, like, say a technician came out. There's nothing specific about the review. You're like, well, that's horseshit.
Yep.
Yeah.
You're like, this is ridiculous. So it's very obvious when you read a review,
Yep.
because most people, when they leave a review, they're pretty specific
Oh yeah.
about their experience. Who came out to visit them, or
Oh yeah.
Right.
what specific product. They're very specific, and you can tell a fake review when it's
Yeah.
that.
Like, to me, there's a lot of weird things that I can look for. Is most of the time they don't have a profile picture, and if they do have a profile picture, it's a stock image.
Yep.
I've also noticed, like, the username of that person a lot of times will have like random strings of numbers in it. Like, that's very common. Even on YouTube, it's like that.
Yep.
The one thing, I don't know, I don't think a lot of people know this, but you could go and you can click on any profile, like in a Google review, and then you could see like their review history.
Absolutely, you can.
The weirdest thing is a lot of times if that company left you a review and they also left reviews for like locksmith and doctors or lawyers, those are other industries that heavily buy into Google reviews.
Yes.
And then, of course, if they leave a review on Monday here in Philly, but then they leave another review on Tuesday for a restaurant in India or some other country, that's another red flag. So it's so obvious. Like, the
That's like
companies
a double red flag.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but I think for us it's red flags, but for the average person it's not. So I think it's good that we explain what to look for. So yeah, if people are searching for a restaurant on Google and it has all these great reviews, if the reviews look a little shady, like we just said, then they're fake. Maybe go somewhere else.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and like this past client of mine, it's like, I've been harping on these lovely individuals for years to do this stuff, and now all of a sudden they're starting to get all these reviews. I'm like, well, I know they're not doing the work. So it's like, oh yeah. So then, like you said, you start looking through the reviews, clicking on the profile, and you're like, oh my gosh.
So as far as I know, the next move that Google's going to do is, because they're always behind when it comes to this type of crap, but I think what they're going to do is, if they find out you're using fake reviews, they're actually going to like kind of publicly shame you. They're going to be like, this company, this isn't a real review. So I think they're going to start shaming. But this is also Google, and it takes them months, sometimes years, to like kick out these things. And the spammers will abuse
out
it
a way.
as far as they can, and then they're just going to move on to the next thing. So
yeah, absolutely.
that's one of the biggest problems I have with Google Business Profile is they can't keep up with the spammers and the bots. It's gotten to a point where it's just
it's terrible.
It's like everything's just fake. The way I kind of look at things online a lot of times is I just take everything for a grain of salt, and I'm like, this is probably fake, and then you have to prove it to me that this is a real review or whatever it may be.
Yeah. Well, it even goes along with the fake traffic to the websites.
Oh yeah,
you know,
think about that.
They're like, look how many visits I'm getting. Is your phone ringing? No, well, it's because it's all baloney.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
It's bloated stats.
Oh yeah. Especially when it comes to YouTube, it's not quite the same as the Google search, but yeah, you could do the same thing. You could buy reviews or you could buy views. And then even inside of YouTube now, a lot of people probably don't know you can do this, but they have a promotions tab where you can promote a video or anything. And I'm 100% sure all that is just bot traffic as well. Like Google says it's not, but it's bot traffic because I've experimented with it before a few times.
Right.
These aren't real users. They like click on your video somehow. They watch it for 10 seconds and then they dip. So that's the same as if you just bought views, and it doesn't really matter at the end of the day. So the next one I put down, I don't know if you thought about this, but what about like keyword research? Like a lot of companies still swear it works. And I'm like, I don't know. It's so hard to get good what keywords are going to work and what doesn't work because the data you're going to get isn't real data like from Google. It's just SEMrush and all these other ones. They're just kind of pulling in what they think a keyword is. So
they give you the little score. Is it a hard keyword or not? So my personal take on keyword research, if you don't know your keywords without doing the research, your business, your organization, whatever it is, then you're probably in trouble from the start.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Thank you.
Yeah. And that all comes with branding, right? You should know what your brand is all about and what someone is going to look in the search, whatever search engine they're using. You should know what they're going to be typing in there.
Yeah.
And then you cater your content to your expertise, and it should work.
Yeah.
It should freaking work. Yes.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
That's my take on it.
You get it. No, you actually get it. I know. For some reason, people still think, oh, I can get low-hanging fruit with these keywords. And then who cares? Like I can rank #1 for web design in the world. If people don't like what I'm delivering or I'm not a good fit, it's not going to convert to a sale. So who cares if you're #1? That's the mentality that I get with SEO a lot of times. It's like, who cares if you rank high? Like if your branding's a mess or everything else falls apart, people are going to buy from you,
I know so many people that are like, oh, I rank for this keyword. And it's like so specific. I'm like, who is typing that into Google? No one. So like, good for you, but
they're typing it in.
Yeah, exactly.
Visual Media FX said, good morning. Good morning.
Yes.
Good morning. Good morning.
Let us know where you are in the world. We like to always kind of know.
Yeah, where are you located?
So I put this one down. I don't know if you have a lot of experience with it. I don't. A lot of people used to use PBNs, like private blog networks, back in the day. I don't know. We've only had one experience with it. We actually were trying to work with an SEO guy, and he put weird links on like our homepage, and it was like a private blog network. I was like, of course that doesn't work anymore. But I'm just wondering if you've seen that lately at all.
I have not, thank God, because I think it's dumb.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure you're going to find a lot of people saying that's the greatest thing in the world, but I've not seen it, especially here lately. So I can't really talk about that because I don't know.
Yeah, I was just wondering if that was even a thing. Yeah. And then let's see, Oklahoma. All right, cool,
wow. Awesome.
Grand Lake of the Cherokees, Oklahoma.
Oh, sweet. We've been to Oklahoma City. We liked it there a lot. Yeah.
That's pretty
just
cool.
relocated from Wichita, Kansas. We haven't been there yet. Have we been to Wichita?
We've
driven through.
We've driven through Kansas.
We were surprised by how flat it was. We're like, there's nothing here. There's not a mountain. There's no hills.
Forever.
Yeah, it's definitely. So I think they relocated to a better spot.
Yeah, exactly.
Sounds pretty nice.
Fun fact: when COVID just started, like when they were telling people go home, don't go on the roads, we had to book it from Las Vegas back over to like Jersey or Philly because we needed to find a place to live because we were living on the road. So I remember driving through Kansas in the beginning of COVID. There was not a single thing out there. It was like a few trucks, and it was just like flat. I was like, "This is creepy." Like it felt like post-apocalyptic times.
And
I was
then
like, "Yeah."
We ended up stopping to get food at a Cracker Barrel, and we got it to go, and it was before like anybody knew what to do because all this stuff was just happening, and everybody was looking at each other like, what's going on? Are we gonna all die? like we were all just like, okay, I'll stand over in this corner, you stand over here. Like it was so bizarre. I'm glad that's all over.
Don't breathe on me.
It was so crazy. That was the craziest 3 days of our life. I think driving back literally across the country.
Wow.
Semi-retired. I like that.
Semi-retired and decided I'd go fishing. Sounds awesome.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Sounds horrible.
Let me see. The last thing in this little topic I was just thinking is a lot of people still swear by like the keyword density of blog articles or your pages. That is such a weird thing because Google has like publicly said, especially this past year, they're like, we don't care if it takes 10,000 words to get what the user wants or 10. If you satisfy the user, they're happy. So I don't know. I think that's a weird thing too. They still push it, I think.
Yeah, I've definitely seen that. Yeah. I mean, I can tell you, our copywriter, she definitely doesn't use AI. And, I basically, I will give her, this is what this month's blog article should be for this client that we're doing a blog article for. And it's like, this is the phrase that I'm looking for. And it's, just something that someone would look up in a search query. I go, just make sure it's in there one time. Time. That's all you need it. And she's very good at creating that web copy, for that stuff. Because I do still like blogging. Now, like you said, blogging's a dying thing. But I do still like blogs, but I want to put that where we're talking about the content, the video content, start to create, that creation of content that people are going to want to see.
Yeah, exactly.
And what better way to do it, an easy way to do it, is through your WordPress blogging platform,
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, because I've been saying it lately, and I'm like, if you literally think about it, within minutes, anybody could just go to an AI tool and get a blog. So you have to be on top of like actually adding like a human element to it, video, podcast, whatever it may be, for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I think that was it for like the outdated technique. I mean, there's plenty of more, but those are kind of like the big ones.
The big ones, yeah.
And that one kind of goes into like, there was a technique called the skyscraper technique, I think, where it was like, spend 40 hours on one blog post with infographics and videos. And I was like, we did that one time and it ranked really well. So we actually did on our travel website, we created a very detailed list of like all of the casinos in Atlantic City. And we had a friend and we sat for hours, like writing the content. Remember that? It ranked very, very well. And we actually got picked up in Google Discover, which is kind of like their news feed. No. So what happened is, for a week or two, we were getting thousands of views a day. I mean, it was solid. Like we were making some ad money and then went away. I don't even know how well that page ranks anymore. Like we're out beat by like Forbes.com now and God knows what else. But,
well, due to all the Google algorithm changes, that's probably why you saw that's probably just one little aspect. Oh, we're going to have to change the algorithm again.
Yeah, exactly. Good. Yeah. Yep. All right. So the whole next section, if you just want to talk about AI, it's that's definitely it's like outranking organic search in a lot of ways. Of course, that's kind of a big thing. I actually have that. What do they call it? Is it Gemini? Whatever. What's the thing at the top? I have that disabled on my regular computer. I forget that when I go into like an incognito window, it shows up, and I'm like, oh yeah. This is probably how a lot of people are viewing it. I don't know.
Yeah,
do you have it on all the time?
I see it all the time. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Well, then you could probably talk more about it. Like you've seen it a lot more, right?
Oh yeah. I mean, pretty much any Google search you do nowadays is gonna have an AI result, and it's usually pretty good. So I think that's what a lot of people are doing. They just go to Google, they get the AI result, it's correct, and then they leave. Depending on what they're searching for.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I agree 100%. Because like the other day, when we started going down this path, I was like, all right, because I use Chat GPT a lot when it comes
Mhm.
to searches. And I looked up, what I talked into the little machine. I said, I'm looking for a reputable website design company in Bradenton, Florida.
Mhm.
And, it does its little thinking and then it pops up. And my company was number one.
Oh, sweet.
And then I had, yep, which is great, that,
Mhm.
hey, they think I'm great. But it also gives you that little paragraph of why they think I'm number one.
Yeah.
But then it gives you you got your competitors below and it tells why they ranked where they did. So I loved that. And I did several searches just testing different things
Mhm.
on different clients. And it's like, yep, that's where it's at. AI, everybody is
Mhm.
using AI. And then in the search results now, on the search results page, those SERPs
Mhm.
up at the top is all AI,
Oh, yeah.
it's crazy.
Yeah, like, I've said this before, like, I'm going to ChatGPT first for everything now, like,
Yeah.
literally almost every question
He
I
calls
have.
it his personal
Yeah,
assistant.
it's my employee. I call it my
I like
employee of the
that.
year, but, yeah, I go there all the time now, and I know, like, Emron from the stream the other day, he said the same thing. It's like, you go there first, Google's like a second thought now,
Yeah.
and so what's weird is, like, so especially for, certain results, if it does have local, like, so now you're gonna have AI at the top.
Mhm.
um, you're gonna probably have ads underneath that,
Yep.
maybe a map pack, and then maybe organic is possibly on the first page now,
Yeah.
or
Yeah,
maybe
it's
even
pushing
toward the
it so
second.
far down the page.
Oh,
The
yeah.
I've
organic
also
result.
noticed even in the map pack, there's sponsors in the map pack now.
Yeah.
So
I think
you,
they've always been there,
well,
I
I
think.
haven't really noticed that
Mhm.
as much until like a few months ago,
Yeah.
where I start like I'll Google a restaurant and then like there'll be sponsored
Yeah.
things. I'm like, oh, I don't ever remember seeing that.
Yeah.
So it could have been around for a long time. I was just not noticing it. Maybe
Yeah,
more people are
they're
doing it
spending
now.
their ad spends,
Yeah,
and
exactly. I think that's really what's going to happen in the future is you're just going to have to pay to get anywhere on Google.
yeah, that pay to play,
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Yep, that's what it's definitely coming down to.
Yeah, and if you want to, the map pack, so that's like your great Google business profile. I still think that that system is much easier to game than Google
Mhm.
search results. Like, so like some local companies in our area, as bad as it is, the fake reviews, I think that's actually helping
Mhm.
them outrank, because they outrank us. We have like 24 reviews. This one
Mhm.
company has like 314. I'm like, that's not ever possible. Like, there's not 314 people that are like,
Yeah.
I know for a fact that 90%
Well,
of them are fake.
unless they
Mhm.
literally never update their portfolio on their website with new work. But I'm like,
Right.
you, why would
Mhm.
you not do that? Like, you're not, it's clear that they're fake.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, yeah. I mean, we've been in existence since 2006,
Mhm.
and I think I've got 35, 37 somewhere around in there Google reviews.
Yeah.
Because it's like pulling teeth to
Oh,
get
yeah.
anybody to leave a review, but the review, so that just goes, and they're all genuine,
Mhm.
there's no
Yeah.
fake reviews, and it's like, that's legit stuff,
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
like you said, when you
exactly.
see a company with 300 or 1,000 reviews and
Oh,
you're
yeah.
like, bull crap,
Yep.
bull
Mhm.
crap.
Well,
Yeah.
there's an SEO company here in Philly, and they do that. They even have their employees fill it out, family
Yeah, I
members. Like,
believe it.
I know for a fact that that's what they do, because you could go on like Glassdoor and
Yeah.
people out them. They're like, yeah, they told us we have to leave reviews, that we don't get a raise. That really shady stuff. And it
That's
seems to be SEO companies love doing shady things, so they do it
yeah.
on the back end too.
Yeah. So I guess that's like a good segue into our next topic,
The cost.
which
Yeah.
is the cost of hiring these companies is
Yeah.
a lot. I mean, we looked it up. It's anywhere from like $500 to $5,000 a month. Like people
Yep.
spend a lot of money
Mhm.
on SEO, and
And that could be just SEO, not even ads too.
yeah,
Yeah.
Yes.
it's
Yep.
it's crazy
Yeah.
that it. I just don't understand why people would spend so much money on something where like they're not guaranteed results.
Hmm.
Like there's no guarantee that
Nope.
this is going to do anything. And a lot of these companies don't give you any reports. They don't give you any information. And if they do, it's really skewed.
A lot of times too, they just kick out reports from like their SCM or like SEM Rush or Ahrefs. Like they just literally kick out a report, and you could just change your logo, and people think that's fine. It's all just like public information, and it's like Ahrefs and stuff. They don't have personal information on your website. Right. They're just kind of looking at trends and all these different things. So there's no real data there. It's
and that's what people are paying thousands of dollars a month for, to get a report that literally took somebody 30 seconds to generate because they did absolutely no work that month.
Correct.
We've known a lot of clients that we've had have gone that route, and we've asked them like, well, what are you getting out of it? Like, are you getting more business? And they can't definitively say yes. Like I don't really know what they're doing. And I was like, then why are you spending all this money to do it?
I needed to.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It's just it's really frustrating because I feel like you could invest that kind of money into building a really solid brand and figuring out your marketing strategy and your ideal client and targeting them versus throwing away money down the toilet to an SEO company. I just it gets really frustrating. Like our branding package is $2,000 a month. It'll do so much more.
Not a month.
Or not a month, but $2,000. It's $2,000, not a month. And it will do so much more than spending $2,000 a month on SEO.
Oh, I 100% agree. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and the fact that you hit on just a little bit, what did they do for you this month?
Right.
Not a damn thing.
They don't know. That's the thing. It's like, well, some say they get a report or like, well, what's in that report? Do you even understand it?
Well, it goes back to what I was saying earlier. Like they could be running experiments, and what you're seeing is completely different than what they see. Like I went on a phone call with a client recently. I said this in my last live stream, but I was only 10 minutes away from this guy, and I was like, you know what? Let's open up incognito windows, because he wanted to keep ranking for certain keywords. I was like, all right, your results are this. And then I was like, here are my results. I don't see you anywhere on page 3. He was like, I'm on the top of page 2. I'm like, you're on page 5 for me. We're 10 minutes away, same keywords. There's a problem here. Like, who's going to guarantee that it can rank anywhere?
And I think that so many people are just ignorant. It's so complicated for most people to understand this, and that's why these companies exist, because they know that people don't understand it, and they can say literally whatever they want and people will believe it. So hopefully by doing more live streams like this, we get the word out to people that you don't have to spend all this money on SEO. These companies are not doing anything. They're scamming you. And you can invest that money into things that are so much better for your business. So hopefully people will share this. People will send it to their friends that have small businesses and let them know that SEO is a waste of money.
There's options.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't even call it. We provide a service for optimization. I don't even call it SEO anymore, because I call it that OVO, the online visibility optimization. It's, like we're going to set it up the first time, go through your website, do all the basic SEO, which I loved your SEO checklist.
Oh, yes. I'm going to mention it later. Yeah. It's good. Yeah,
definitely. Because that is a very good checklist. I was like, man, I'm going to buy it.
Let's talk about it right now.
Okay.
Sure.
Well, let me pull it up here. I have a special button here.
Mark just released an updated SEO checklist that teaches you the things that you need to do in order to achieve quote unquote good SEO.
Yeah.
So we used to have something. We completely refurbished it. It's brand new. He just uploaded it yesterday.
Yeah, I had to simplify it, because the old one I had still, in my opinion, how outdated things, because I was talking about like how optimization, like page speed matters. But I made that back in 2020, I think it was. And I was told, of course, by Google, oh, it matters. Now they're like, it doesn't matter. Like if your website loads quick enough, it's fine. But
so it's $5 on shop.wikidesign.com. you can spend $5, do everything that this checklist says, and you should be good to go.
Yeah, this will
So
get you there.
instead of spending thousands of dollars, spend $5 to get the checklist.
Yeah, you don't even. So I made a whole detailed video. If you don't even want to buy the checklist, it doesn't matter. If you just want to watch the video, I just want to get that education out there because yeah, I'm with you. It's so important to just educate is a big thing. Where's the button?
It is absolutely. No, you're absolutely right. Yeah, and that checklist. I mean, I was watching the video yesterday. I was like, I really like this thing.
Yeah.
So I was like,
yeah. Visual Media FX said, Google host me when I moved and changed my address. Yeah, that kind of happened to us too.
Oh, you mean your Google profile? Yeah, so we have a story about that. So it used to be real easy for your Google business profile. All you had to do was get a postcard mailed to you and you just like put in the numbers and you're good. They're really, now if you sign up for a whole new business, like from scratch, I don't even know if they do the postcards anymore because they found that scammers are literally, they're finding like empty mailboxes or I don't know how they do it. Like I've seen really weird ones where it's like in the middle of like a Home Depot parking lot. I don't know how they do it, but you can rank in weird places. I don't know how they got it verified, but anyways, what they're doing or what happened with us is we were verified forever. And I like to play around, you know, I still do SEO, like weird practice. I just test things to see what happens. I moved from like Philly. We have a P.O. box down in like Delaware. I started moving a lot of things around and then I got, I guess it was suspended sort of, or it was like, I couldn't promote anymore because I had to re-verify my home address. And I was like, dang it. I'm not putting my home address online because I did that before when we lived in Philly. And we literally had people like showing up to our house, like wanting a website. I was like, oh boy, we can't do this. So I had to re-verify everything. I had to literally show Google a video. I had to walk outside my house, walk in, unlock the door. Like it was a pain in the butt. So yeah, that might be what you have to do is as far as I know, they're really locking down on people because
Visual Media FX said they wouldn't send me the postcard this time. They did a long time ago. Yeah. Same thing. Yeah. We had to do all this stuff, like video stuff.
This is what's weird. So all right, this is
around with your phone. Here it is.
Oh, yeah, exactly. I had to do that.
Yeah, that's what we did.
All right. So if you do this was like a little tip. This took me hours to figure out. So what they do is they tell you go to the nearest like street signs and start there with your video verification, then walk into your house. But the problem is you start at like 5G outside because I'm no longer in the Wi-Fi. And you lose the signal inside their app when you go onto like your Wi-Fi or whatever. So I had issues, and so I had to disconnect from the Wi-Fi. And there was a lot of weird issues with that.
That's a good tip, though.
But all I did is I just started from the outside of the house and showed the address, and then just walked in. I didn't walk at the end of the street because it kept failing. So if you have that problem, that's what I had to do.
Yeah, that's a really good tip. Make sure that your Wi-Fi is off if you're trying to verify.
Because as far as I know, I went into the forms, and all they do is they need to verify your location, like on GPS, and they just need to verify that you can go from the outside of your house onto the inside of your house. So just that little bit of movement is all they need to see, I think. I don't think they really care. And then he said, the call service.
I would believe that in Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
he's living the dream. He's fishing.
He is. Yeah. He's fishing.
Yeah. He doesn't. He's semi-retired.
Man, that would be nice.
Okay. Next topic.
Hold on. Let me see. Was there anything else? Yeah. I mean, just a simple little data point. As far as like the best SEO people out there, because I still follow. There's really good guys you can still follow, and they keep up daily with this stuff. Like Barry Shorts or some other really good like SEO people, like SEO Roundtable. I found fascinating right now is all right. So the Google search algorithms, at best, we only know 2 data points. It's either about 200 ranking factors for your website to get ranked, and then lately there was a data leak of 14,000 ranking signals. So good luck. Any SEO company who thinks they literally know anything, if you know that those 14,000 ranking things don't matter, then you're ahead of the cabal. But nobody knows. Not even the best guys in this industry know.
No, absolutely not. That's crazy. 14,000.
Yeah.
Nuts.
Visual media effects. Well, after 30 plus years of clients, my brain needs a break. What can I say?
Oh, yeah.
I totally understand.
Yeah, we're actually kind of in the same boat. We're starting to talk about the retirement, like what this is going to look like. So we're in those talks now. Yeah.
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 That might be a whole other video.
Yeah. No, I plan on still doing this for at least another 10 years.
Yeah.
So.
But you had like a whole career shift. So, I mean, if you want to, I don't know if you want to talk a little bit about your background, but
yeah.
I think you have like a really interesting story.
Yeah, I can definitely share my story. Real quickly, I was a firefighter for the Sarasota County Fire Department, and retired in 2022. And all firefighters do something different. And I was like, so I'm looking at all the old goats, in the department, because I was the young pup at the time. I had a little bit of hair, and didn't have facial hair though. But I'm watching all these older guys do construction, landscaping, mowing lawns, pools. I'm like, I don't want to be part of that crap. So I got into hacking, right? So I got into coding, kind of self-taught at that time. And, some of the guys are like, man, that's really good. You build me, I'll pay you $500. You build me a website. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
So that's kind of how, thank you. But yeah, that's kind of how I got rolling into this. Cause I was like, I want to do something that's going to park my butt in the air conditioning.
Easy. Yeah.
That I can, and plus that I could do from anywhere.
Yeah.
That was my goal, because I like to travel, and and now we have a home in North Carolina as well. So doesn't matter where I'm at. As long as I have internet connection, I can do my job from anywhere. So that's
why. Yeah, we like to travel. I like to say the world's our office. That's the way I look at it. Yeah.
Yes, and that's a great way to look at it. And with what we do, we can literally do it from anywhere in the world, which is amazing. Yeah. So I expect to see something when you guys go to Germany.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. Are we going to maybe we'll do a live stream?
I don't know. Well,
probably. I don't know. Sometimes we go, I'm like, I forget to even pick up the camera. I'm like,
yeah, I mean, I think it's going to be more of like a vacation, hopefully, but we'll take some pictures and maybe post them.
Yeah, that's like the biggest, that's like when we were doing Digital Nomad full time. It's hard to figure out when to work, when to play, So a lot of times we would kind of just a few hours in the morning and maybe in the afternoon. I don't know. It was difficult because I'm like, I want to go do this cool thing over here, but it's only open this time,
We've been trying to wind down the client work, wrap things up, and we're at a point now where I feel like that as long as nobody has any crazy requests in the next 2 weeks, we should be good to actually take a real vacation.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
What is that?
Yeah, what is that, by the way? Yep. Yeah, we are married to our business, that's for sure.
Oh yeah. And I can relate when you were saying, I know how hot it is down in Florida. Like, my life changed because I used to work in an open warehouse in Tampa, so no air conditioning. I used to have to lift up tile, like 100-pound boxes and everything, pounds. And in my early 20s, I finally got I got a job doing 3D animation in the air conditioning. I was only making like $12 an hour. I was like, I don't care. I'm soaking up the AC.
Yes.
I'm making $12 an hour. I was making probably tens. I was like, that's it. This is my life. I'm never going to work in a warehouse ever again.
100% true. Yeah. And, back in those days, that was $12 an hour is probably not bad wages.
Yeah. Now it's like.
Yeah, now it's
really hard.
I was like entry level, and then that's what sucked. I was like entry level at a corporation, and so every year they're like, "Oh, here's 2%. Here's 2%." I was like, "Oh, I'm never gonna make any money in this company, so I gotta leave."
That's not even keeping up with what I need. At least 3%.
I know. I would have to fight every time. Like, give me 10%. I would have to fight all the time.
I think I'm well worth it.
Yeah, exactly.
He is.
So the last thing we were just gonna talk about, like, what should you do instead? So we talked about that SEO checklist I just created. I was like, that will get you there. Like that will pretty much get you all the way there. Once you go through like the checklist I have, then you just need to actually create content. That's like, then that's when the marketing comes into play. But everything kind of in that checklist is all I do. That's why I created it.
Go ahead and pull that up again so people know what it looks like, what we're talking about if they just joined.
Yeah, because I think so. There's a video here, so I have a link in the description below, but it's literally a little checklist like I have in Excel, and you just put like an X whenever you did something. It just very simple. You could do it for yourself, or if you run an agency, or if you want to do it for your clients, or I don't know what we're gonna do. We might actually just do this for our clients all the time now. I'm like, who knows? It might be a little service we can offer, but yeah, I had one out there before. It was a lot more technical. So if you find that one, this is the newest one. That's just called the SEO Checklist.
It just got uploaded yesterday. So this is a brand new thing. And I think that spend $5 instead of spending thousands of dollars for an SEO company to do it when they're not going to do anything for you.
And that's even cheaper than a cup of coffee at Starbucks.
Oh yeah,
Starbucks charges like $8 for coffee.
I know.
Ridiculous.
Yeah, people like these little, like when I do those little ones, like they can work really well because I say it's more like just supporting the channel, because I was like, you could just watch my video. I'm like, put it behind a paywall.
Well, really all it's buy Mark and Barbara a cup of coffee.
Yeah,
purchase their little $5 checklist. It's
there you go.
And it's a great way, like you said, to get it set up and going.
Yeah.
And like you said, it's all about creating good quality content, and that's what it's all about, and that's what
how do you create good quality content? What would your tips be, Brian?
Know your damn industry. Plain and simple. You are supposedly the expert in your field, right? And so with us, we have that one. We're a small boutique marketing agency, so we take on only a certain amount of clients, and then we get to know those clients inside and out. We know their business. And then through conversations, which we have all the time, if anybody's on our optimization plan, we're constantly hooking up and talking about, okay, this is what we think your next article should be. And they just give us a data dump on that particular, and then my copywriter puts everything together, because she's very good at the copywriting, because most of our clients, not so much.
Oh yeah.
I love them to death, but they'll send me an article to publish. It's like, I can't publish that.
Oh yeah, exactly. Yeah, we have to work with copywriters sometimes too, for sure.
So just you should know your content, and you should be able to produce good quality content that's going to resonate with someone that's looking for you. And I mean that.
I like that that you know your clients, because that's a good thing, because a lot of times with like an SEO company, you're just literally another number in the system.
Exactly. Yeah.
And one thing that I always
want to be. Yeah, even with web design too. I mean, there's so many web designers that it's like you're literally just, that's the website that I'm doing for the week.
Yeah.
You're a number. They do the site. They probably just pick a template and slap it together, and then they move on to the next one. Like most of our clients, we've known since we started our business almost 11 years ago. Like they've come back to us several times for new work, and we try to build that relationship. That's a big part of our brand. We don't want to be you're just a number web design company.
Oh yeah. 100%. Yeah. Yeah. And I don't, and this has been this way for several years. I don't just take anybody, I want that client that's serious. That's going to take it serious, marketing, because a lot of, in the world of marketing and actually in the world of business, marketing is always like the stepchild. And everything that I've ever seen, read, definitely seen, marketing. But then at some point in their little business life, they finally realize, I need to do that marketing thing. And then when you start hitting them with the numbers, how much it's going to cost, they're like, what? Well, it's like a certain percentage of your business should be allocated for marketing.
Right.
And
why do you think that is? Why do you think that people think of marketing as like the stepchild, because we see the same thing. Like they're like, oh, I don't need to worry about getting any branding done. I just want a website. Can you just do it, and I'll just go on Fiverr and create a shit logo, and that's my brand. And it's like, and then they come back 6 months later and say, oh, well, I need to redo everything because this isn't working. It's like, well, we tried to tell you from the beginning it wasn't going to work. So why do you think that is?
A few reasons. So one, they've dabbled in it before and they got a bad actor, because unfortunately in our field, we were just talking about SEO companies. There are a lot of bad actors out there. And that goes everything from SEO firms to your website designers, because now everybody thinks they're a website designer. And God forbid, a lot of people think they're a developer, and you look at them and go, God, you couldn't develop yourself out of a wet paper bag if you had to with a freaking fork, So that's part of it. But then they know the cost of it, and they don't understand what I've found is a lot of people think marketing is sales.
Sales, two different things.
Exactly. But a lot of people will come to us. Actually, just the other day, I had a discovery session with someone, and they're like, yeah, we really need the phone to ring. We need you to do this. And I'm like, I go, you're talking about sales. Well, that's what I'm hiring you for. I'm like,
no, you're not.
That's one thing
you need a sales guy. You can go maybe get somebody out in the field to do it.
Exactly. Yeah. And who has two thumbs and doesn't do that? So that's kind of what I think is
I agree with that. I know a lot of the clients that we've gotten have either tried to do it themselves, realized I don't know how to build a website. It's not as easy as Squarespace and Wix commercials say it is.
Oh no.
Or they hired somebody that completely fell off the face of the earth or did a horrible job. So we like to joke that we're always the people's second choice. And I'm fine with that, because I know that I can do a good job and fix what the other people did and actually get you to where you need to be. So we want to be people's first choice, but I think you're right, where people have to get burned sometimes before they realize that they need to do research and hire a company that actually knows what they're doing.
Yeah, we say that because most of our clients, they have been burned. And so that's why,
They've either been burned or they try to do it themselves and they're like, oh, this is way harder than, I'm not a web designer. Yeah, but you're right. Everybody thinks that they're a web designer now because they can spit up a Squarespace template in 5 minutes. And it's like, that's not going to move the needle for the business. You got to put some strategy behind it. You have to have some thought behind the marketing in order to actually achieve any results. And what Visual Media Effects just commented, the old mindset of they will build it and they will come.
Yeah.
That doesn't work.
I didn't even think about that. Yeah, that's a great thing. Yeah.
Yeah,
that's like an old school mindset.
It's an old school mindset. It doesn't work, especially nowadays, because think about how much content and businesses and everything is out there because of the internet. You're competing with millions of people, whereas back in the day, you might have only been competing with your local neighborhood.
Yeah.
Now you can compete with everyone.
Oh, absolutely.
In the world. So it's like, that's build it and they will come. It's just not going to work.
I like this. Yeah, we're going to change that to where people's final choice. Trademark.
Yes, I do.
Write that down.
Yeah. I was going to say, can we steal that? Because that is great.
He just trademarked it, so I think we're screwed.
Oh, man. We have to pay him for it. How much do you want for it?
Yeah. How much are we talking? You take a check.
You take Bitcoin?
Do we need we'll buy the domain right now.
Yeah, but I will say, another horror story from a client that came to us, and I think we talked about this the other day, Mark, is that I want a free t-shirt. That's great. Okay, so we had a client, and he's a friend of mine, real estate broker. I think we talked about this, and his wife belonged to this women's group. And in this women's group was this lady owns a marketing agency right here in downtown Bradenton. And he hired her because the wife, right? Which is fine. I don't really, he thought I'd be butthurt over it. And I'm like, I don't care. You're still my buddy. But they built this website, this real estate website, and they couldn't get the IDX to work. They couldn't get it to work. And this went on for, he said, like 3 months, going back and forth with this lady. And, she started to get irate with him. And he finally said, I'm done with you. He contacted me. He goes, Brian, I really need your help. And we pulled it up virtually, and I fixed it within 5 minutes. And he's like, are you kidding me? I'm like, because what she does is what I found is she's a reseller. So, those companies like Marketing 360 and stuff like that. Yeah. She resells their services. So she's not even doing any of the work for these clients that hire her.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. She's just a little
salesperson.
Yeah. That's exactly what she is. She has no idea what she's talking about, yet she portrays she does. And these people fall for it. And then they get suckered in to those systems like the Marketing 360, and there's others out there. It's like, come on. Yeah.
That's a shame, but I'm glad that you were able to fix it for them in 5 minutes.
Less than 5 minutes. Took us longer to get into the virtual call than it was for me to fix it. It was crazy. And it just popped up, and they're like, what?
Yeah, that one thing I wanted to mention too, a little bit, we were talking about SEO companies. This is something I think about all the time. Is a lot of times, like if I'm bored or if I'm on my phone, I'll go on our website, right, and I'll just be poking around, and I'll be looking at my own website, and I'll be like, oh, this call to action section might make more sense up here, especially on mobile. Like things like that, an SEO company isn't going to care about. They're not looking out. They don't care about your business. Like they really don't care about your business at all. Like only you as the business owner really care about it, unless you're like working with somebody who's like really knows, almost how we work with clients. We want to actually help, so that's something I think about all the time too, is like, they're not thinking about your business outside of your monthly report or whatever scam they got you going on. So that's something I wanted to say out there in the public was, they don't care about your business growing or anything. Yeah.
And they don't even care if they screw your website up because, you got a web guy, he'll fix it.
Yeah.
I was like, I will for a fee.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, that's another battle. That could be almost a whole other video, would be like, so many times we'll make a cool website, everything is great, and then an SEO company gets in there and messes it all up.
Destroys it.
I've had to actually get people off my server because bots are coming in. There was all these weird scripts loading, and I'm like, I don't want to deal with it. So that's something we have to deal with too. And when I tell them that they add all this like weird code, it's almost like they actually have no idea that it was even being done at all. And then I'm like, oh, this is not good. Like, you need to get rid of this. And then they're like, no, we can't, because it has to tie to this CRM and all this, some weird thing that like they have to do. And I'm like, you don't have to do that.
No. Yeah. Don't do that. That's going to break your stuff. And then they call you and say, I don't know what's wrong with my website. It's whacked out and looks funny.
Yeah.
And you go in there and you're like, oh my gosh. It's just so terrible. You're like, oh, well, I'll fix it for you for this much money. And they're like, what? I'm like,
exactly.
Have them fix it, because they don't know how to fix it. It's just so unbelievable. Yeah, just so unbelievable, the stuff that we see every day.
Yeah.
And people, like you said, are unaware.
They don't know.
Yeah. Exactly. Yep. All right. Let's see. You can go over this real quick.
I hopped on late, but I will go back and watch from the beginning. Yes. Thank you.
Emron converted me over because I was using, of course, Yoast way back in the day. I went to all-in-one SEO. I actually love that platform up until like a few months ago. It's become more and more bloated. Like there's pop-ups everywhere now. So I actually converted all the way over to Slim SEO. They make it real easy. Like, so all of the stuff I did do within all-in-one SEO, it just converts over into Slim. So yeah, I'm 100% in on Slim. I'm not sure. What about you, Brian?
I've used Yoast when I had to back in the day, but then when Rank Math came out, I went with Rank Math and all in on Rank Math. But now I'm playing around with the Slim SEO, and I'm not going to lie to you. I'm really liking the Slim SEO. And like
yeah.
you said, it's because all these other platforms or all these other plugins are so bloated.
Mhm.
You can see that. So I just converted one of my websites over, the one I have up in North Carolina. I converted it over to the Slim SEO, and I immediately noticed the website runs better.
Wow. On the back end
Yeah.
or the front end?
On the back end.
Yeah. Mhm.
I was like, holy, that's like night and day.
Yeah.
Just
Wow.
getting rid of rank math. Because they're bloated as hell.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and
Yeah, like
I
with
really like
the yeah, with the all-in-one SEO, it bloats. This is what I found weird is like I went into like the users, and you know how like it's kind of just generic information. They had a whole tab at the top for your EEAT now,
Mhm.
but it was like loading up this tab, but it was a premium feature. So I click on it and I was like, why is it loading this crap up if it's only in pro? So like now every
Right.
time I go to that tab, it has to load this
Mhm.
spam,
Yeah.
crap. So yeah, I think I'm noticing a difference too. I'm like,
Mhm.
I didn't really think about that. I was like, yeah, I
Yeah.
just converted like last week. I was like, I'm starting to
Okay.
see a difference. Yeah.
Yeah, I just converted yesterday,
Hmm.
because I was like, I'm gonna try this out. And man, I mean, immediately I know, I
Yeah.
was like, wow.
Yeah.
And it is so easy. And it does everything that you really honestly need an SEO plugin to do.
Yeah.
It really
Yeah.
does. Yeah.
Yeah. Cause I all I care about really, if you look at that was what's good is that SEO checklist I just created. I talk
Mhm.
about like how I configure it. It's very simple. Like I just wanted to create my sitemap
Mhm.
automatically, create the titles and descriptions automatic if it
Mhm.
does. But then one of the features that I loved about all in one was the social sharing
Yeah.
images for each
Mhm.
post, because
Right.
we use like this is what so confusing. So we use WebP for like our featured images, but
Mhm.
a lot of these networks, I think Facebook still doesn't support
Yeah,
WebP. So I have
they
to
do.
go into each one and like
Mhm.
do a JPEG. So
Yeah.
other SEO plugins couldn't do that. So that's what I like
Mhm.
about the Slim. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Same here. Yeah. I really, like I said, I've only been using it for a day,
Yeah.
but I love it, But I have that along with I use a plugin now for the analytical data.
Mhm.
That
Is it
well,
independent?
I use independent analytics, which I'm really, really starting to love.
Yeah. You
Um,
converted me over. I think I'm going to start switching it. I was testing around with it.
yeah,
I think I'm going that way. Yeah.
right? It gives you exactly what you need to know in a
Hmm.
very nice a dashboard, and you can create those UTMs and track
Hmm.
them. I mean, it's
Oh, that's sweet.
everything that you need.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
showed her and I was like, "Whoa." Yeah, the only thing is I was thinking it is gonna bloat your database a little bit, but I
Yeah,
think it said that you could clear it like every year or whatever, but I think it was what 200 megabytes for like a million data
Mhm.
points or something. So it's not gonna
Yep.
bloat it too much, but that's
No.
something I'm gonna keep an eye on because that's something I don't have to
Mhm.
worry about doing Google Analytics.
Right.
But I don't know about you, but I don't even understand when I log into Google Analytics 4 now. I don't even know what I'm looking at half the time. I have to Google search what the hell to do. I'm like, this isn't how it should be.
Yeah, they've definitely made it more complicated,
Yeah.
and that
Yeah.
but that is like we were talking, if you're a small business owner or you run an organization, it needs to be as easy as possible. And for someone that doesn't know what they're looking for, logs into GA4
Yeah.
and they look at that. I mean, it's literally a brain dump because there's
Yeah.
Yeah.
so much, it's data overload. They don't know what they're looking at.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
You
know.
know,
At
so
first, I was like, "Oh, cool! It's tracking all of like your movements and your clicks," and I was like,
yeah,
"I don't know what to do with this data." Yeah, it
yeah,
reminds me if anybody's ever tried to set up like a Gmail like workspace, like hook it to your domain. It's like that. Like Google's very sometimes
yeah.
Google can be really nice with the interfaces, friendly, like a Google profile, like a business, and
Sometimes,
then you get to the back end stuff. Then you have to be like an admin, a system
yeah,
admin who
Yeah,
understands.
you need a
yeah,
degree.
Yeah,
yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's crazy, right? It's
yeah.
crazy. Yeah, and, and for me to start using, and then I'm also using a platform called Plausible. It's a newer
Mhm,
platform that, you basically put the script in the head section just like Google, but it's all GDPR compliant.
mhm.
So what I've found is it's not really being blocked by, your Brave, your DuckDuckGo and stuff like that. It's allowing
Mhm.
that script to run, so
Mhm.
you're getting a little bit better data on that. And it's kind of like having that independent analytics on its own little platform that's off of your website. So
I kind of like that. Yeah. So it
yeah,
won't bloat it. Yeah.
it won't bloat it at all. It will.
Mhm.
It's freaking on. And I've been kind of running them parallel. And I'm like, I kind of really like the data points that this thing has given me. And it's just working. It's just working. You know, I can log in, see exactly what I want. You know, how long are people spending on my website, and are they venturing to other pages? That's what I care about. You know,
Yeah, I have a feeling like I don't know, like I would so far playing around with the independent one, the view duration is longer than what it shows in Google Analytics. So I don't know if there's like an issue with Google Analytics because it says that like people don't stay on our pages very long, but I was like, we have videos on all of our pages. So
Yeah.
are they, I don't understand. Like I'm going to definitely convert over, I think really shortly.
Yeah. Yeah. And like you said, when you look at it in Google Analytics, you're like, there's no freaking way.
Yeah.
And then when you put in these other platforms, you're like, because it's like true to life stats. It's not going to that Google crap. It's like,
exactly.
So this is what people are really looking at. And you can see it. You can see the entry page where they're exiting, you know, and then that gives you those, hopefully, you know, it triggers in your little brain pan. They're leaving on this page. Why are they leaving on this page? Because I'm not giving them what they need to know. So that changed the content. Like I said, in my live stream the other day, my content sucks. Better fix it. You know, it's as simple as that. You know, and that's what we do in our optimization. You know, we pay attention to these simple little data points, and it's like the content's not resonating with these people that are looking you up. So we need to change our strategy, and that's really what it's all about.
Yeah, I'm really curious to see because since I'm going to be getting rid of Google Analytics, and I've had them for probably 15 years on our wiki website. I'm really curious to see if I get rid of it, if there's any like ranking differences. Probably not, but of course you hear SEO people out there, you have to have Google Analytics. You have to have, I was like, I don't know. Nobody really knows, but yeah.
The only thing that I like of Google is their search console, just because you can see, you know, what the queries are.
Well, I don't know if you notice it, but if you have your Google Search Console and your analytics together, there's like a special button in the top of Search Console that gives you a decent breakdown of the data that you can get anyways in Google Analytics, but it makes it easier. I was like, that's giving me what like the independent plugin will give me. So I was like, I'm not going to miss that because I don't think it's giving me real information. Like if people are staying on my page for 20 seconds or 10 seconds, I was like, I don't think that's accurate like at all.
Yeah. And, so like with Plausible, you can connect it to the Search Console. So you can actually just within Plausible go in and click Google and it'll pulls up those search queries.
Yeah.
Nice and easy. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So we have a question. This question is somewhat related to the topic of SEO, probably more so to OBO. Does everyone have a preferred social share plugin? I'm considering Easy Share Buttons or Shareaholic. We don't use any social share plugins because it's built into Elementor.
Well, I think on your website, right, Brian, you have it on the right side now, right?
I have a easy ways to connect with me. So, you know, people can call me, email me, send me an SMS message, you know, that kind of stuff. So that's what's on the right side of my website now. But as far as a social share plugin, like you guys, Elementor has a great.
We don't use anything because it's already built in.
Maybe what he's asking is, let me put it in here. If you want, I can pull up your website real quick just so we can see.
Sure. Yeah.
The right side. Here.
What are you trying to do?
Hold on. I'm using a Mac for the. Hold on. I don't know how to use a Mac. How do you paste?
You take a hammer and you hit it really hard.
Paste the URL in here. Oh, it didn't work.
You didn't do that.
All right, you do it. Hold on, copy that. Hold on. All right.
That's it. I quit.
Okay, you copy it. Yeah, we're on a Mac, and I don't know the commands are different. I have to convert over, but yeah, just copy that into the other tab.
Oh my gosh.
But I think maybe what he's asking is like, you know, on the right side, almost like a pop-up. Like I would try to build everything you can inside of Elementor first. Let me show on screen here. There we go. Okay.
That took way longer than it should have.
This is what happens. I don't know what I'm doing here.
That's all
right.
good.
Hold on 1 second.
Now, but if it comes to there is a plugin that I used a couple of times that I actually kind of like as far as social sharing, like a blog article or whatever, and it's called Sassy Social Share, and it's a pretty decent one. I'm not real, social warfare. Those I'm not a big fan of because they really bloat your stuff.
Yeah, so, I feel like a lot of them do.
So is this what I think maybe what he's mentioning is this right here? Is this done in Elementor or is this a plugin over here? These things?
Nope, that's Element. That's those floating buttons.
Yeah.
Oh, the new thing they just came out.
Yeah, you can do all this stuff in Elementor if you have Elementor Pro.
Yeah, the newest version has all of that.
Yep. So if you're on your mobile device, you click the call, it'll call. That SMS, it'll go right to your messaging system, whatever you're using. It's very cool. The only thing that I don't like about it, and it's just, could I do it in code? Sure. Is changing the icons to something different. But really, honestly, at that point, I just didn't give two poops. I was like, these are perfect the way they are. And that's the only thing that I don't like about those floating buttons. As of today, you can't change the icon.
Oh, I see. Okay. Yeah, because I'm like, that used to be heavy on like a plugin territory. That used to be all plugins. So now it's kind of integrated in. Yeah. We don't really get that. We don't get requested that like hardly ever. I think it used to be something that people might have requested, but have you had any requests lately? I haven't really.
Not really. No.
No, I haven't.
Okay. So what was you saying? The Shareaholic allows you to tie in directly. That's cool.
Toby's late to the party.
What's up, Toby? Yeah. I don't know if you've been seeing his video. He's been making really good CrocoBlock tutorials. I think he's also doing I think he's on the channel too doing CrocoBlock videos too. Yeah, there's CrocoBlock tutorials. There's so much to do. I'm like so little time.
Well, that you can go down those rabbit holes. But I'm a big I love CrocoBlock. Yeah.
Oh, sweet.
They're great.
Yeah, they're go down those rabbit holes.
Oh yeah. So I make videos with them a couple times a month, but I like that they're getting new people on board, all different types of stuff. Yeah, because Toby can do. I remember I learned some stuff with that. I didn't even know you can use like different queries to talk to other queries. I was like, oh, this can get real complicated real quick, but it's fun stuff. Yeah.
All right. Oh, this is a good one right here. Yeah.
We're a nonprofit, so we depend on donations and people sharing our content on Facebook and X, etc. Then if you can get the analytics with the one plugin, that's what I would go with, because I'm not sure how you would track that using the Elementor share buttons. I don't think that's something that you can do. So I would go with the one that gives you the Google Analytics results. So you know what's working and what's not.
Well, even you could create those UTMs for it, and then it would definitely track it.
Yeah.
Even like if you were to pull in the independent analytics, it would be a little bit of work for you. But for every article, I would create a UTM, and ma'am, you can really track it that way.
Oh, that's cool. All right. So Web Squadron, Paul, Jeff. Yeah. Oh yeah.
It's all about Croco, and they offer great plugins.
Yeah, they do.
I know. I don't think. I mean, Elementor will never integrate as much as they can. That like a CrocoBlock can. So I was like, there's gonna always kind of be that another layer on top of Elementor, in my opinion, to make it what it is, as powerful as it is. But in most cases, like I actually had a client the other day ask me, they're like, "Oh, what plugins?" Because we're going to be hosting the website. He wants to know about other plugins that they might have to purchase or might be outside of what we offer. But I was like, honestly, like 90% of the time, just Elementor Pro and CrocoBlock will get us there 90% of the time. Everything else, especially like e-commerce, that's when you're going to need like weird plugins. But those two things alone, that's all you need. So the people who try to do it like the free or alternative way to get that same functionality, you're 20 plugins deep sometimes,
Yeah.
And I like
they're really good.
Yeah, very good, and definitely a lot of work.
Oh yeah.
But once you do it though, now you can track how well the clicks are going, which is a good thing. So it's a little bit of work in the front end, but then it's collecting all that
it
data
in the
in the
long
back end.
run.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's about like any marketing thing. A lot of work in the beginning.
Yep. Just get it done one time. Yeah.
Yep.
That's what I was saying with my checklist. Just get this crap done. Get it done early because it's a lot of stuff up front. Just get it done. You don't have to think about it.
Right.
Like weird things like set up your 404 page. Like that's something that people don't think about. But I was like, you could put some good information on there, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, I've had some pretty good 404 pages. One of my
Mhm.
favorites that I designed for myself, I had this cow on there, and it was a close up. You know, the camera was right in front of its nose, so it looked like this big bloated head with this big old nose, and everybody's like, "That's the best 404 I've ever seen." Yeah,
Yeah, I was wondering if I could try to like figure out you could do like an autoplay on your videos. So I was like, if bots hit your 404 pages, can I get like a whole bunch of views? I like playing around with stuff like that, but I
are
think
you
Google
a
will be
bot?
yeah. Yep.
Yeah, yeah. That's the thing. I hate bots. God, I hate bots. There are
I
good
know.
bots, but there are so many bad bots. You know.
Yep. I literally just had one right before our call. Like hit our server real hard. I'm like, what are you doing? I'm like, I block. But yeah, that's the thing. We're in our server. It's like almost a full-time gig. I have to stay up with all of this stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. It's all about the 404 page. Make it, you know, I'm one of those, I like to make them kind of comical, like, you know, because when you land there, you're like, oh, this is pretty funny though. You know? So yeah.
You had the Game of Thrones one time, right? Like Shamed, like I forgot who I didn't watch Game of Thrones, but she put that on one time.
Oh, we're gonna have to start questioning.
It's a topic that we've had discussions about. I've been trying to get him to watch it, and he's just not interested.
Oh, Game of Thrones, yeah. I don't know. You know what it is? I have a hard time following when there's like a lot of different dialogues, and I have to learn about different like countries that don't exist. And I don't know. My brain sometimes, when I'm watching TV, I'm only like 50% invested. That's why I need to get better at it.
Because he's on his phone while he's watching TV.
Yeah, that sounds like my wife. She's sitting over here on her phone. I'm like, "Did you see that? Did you see that?" She's like, "Oh, what?" I'm like, "Put the damn phone down."
I know. She's guilty of it too. Everybody kind of does it, yeah.
But when you watch Game of Thrones, you have
to invest.
Invested.
Yeah.
Yes, you do. Well, I will tell you how I got into it. And it had been going on for quite a while. It was almost through the whole first season before I even decided, let me see what this is about. And I watched the first episode, and then I was like, oh, because I always like that medieval kind of stuff. And I was like, okay, this is kind of cool. But then when I watched the second episode,
I
was hooked. Because you just plug into a character and you're like, yes.
Oh,
yeah. It was a good show until the last season, and then it went in the toilet.
That's what you say, yeah. So I'll know if I do watch it, and just my expectations a little low on the. But.
So before we wrap things up, I wanted to talk to you about video content, because you had mentioned to us before the live stream that you do video content for businesses. So talk a little bit more about what that is for people.
Sure. So we just recently started offering the videography services, and we kind of do it two different ways. You know, for all of our local clients, and we'll service anybody within a 50-mile radius from us. So we'll show up and do the video shoot and stuff like that if you need it. But a lot of our clients are like, well, can't we just do this on our own? Well, you certainly can. You know, you can, any smartphone today takes 4K video. And I always recommend send me the 4K video, because if you want a 4K, I've got it. But most people like the 1080p, full HD, because then you can take that 4K and drop it down and it just looks good. Or you can crop in and you don't need any, it's just so nice. So yeah, so we started, and the whole reason that we started offering this service is because I never offered it before. And I would reach out and say, okay, well, you should contact one of these couple of different videographers in the area. And they were just astronomical in price, for let's say a 60-second video was around $3,000.
Wow.
And I was like, and my client would come back, they wanted to charge me. And I'm like, what? So I eventually said, okay, screw this crap. And I went and bought all these cameras. So I've got a full setup now, and now I just do it. And
Right.
I'm having fun. And that's kind of what got me going. I'm going to really start getting into this whole live streams and stuff just because I'm having fun with it.
Yeah, it is fun.
Yeah.
Just get on here and shoot the poo.
Yeah. I like what you said where you can do it yourself. You know, everybody has a cell phone that takes really good video. You can create these videos yourself. So don't be afraid that it's not going to be like, you know, crazy like quality. It's going to be good enough for what you need. But yeah,
if you need that professional,
if
like
you
really
need a professional,
high-end,
you can hire Brian if you're in the
Bradenton,
Tampa, Sarasota area. That's a pretty big area that you cover. So if you're in that area, hire Brian to do video, and instead of paying,
it was nice because I don't know if you saw this, but we were on Elementor. They did the success story with us back in 2021.
I did see that. Yes, I did.
Yeah. So we kind of have like a professional video we have to pay for. Like, this is nice. I'm like, I'm going to use this, even though it's kind of promoting like Elementor. But yeah, every couple years we get professional photos. We get a photographer to come out and take pictures.
Good.
I'm not going to do it anymore though, because I am very gray. All of my photos, I have the black hair still. Yeah. I don't know what the hell happened. I think a lot of the stress with the COVID and stuff. I was fine until COVID. I went from straight black.
I can't remember the last time I was straight black. Yeah, terrible. All the guys at the department used to make fun of me, and I'm like, screw you guys.
Yeah.
Go do a lap.
There goes your
Go pull that hose.
I think that this was a really great talk. We gave a lot of good information. Hopefully, people found it helpful. So before we wrap everything up, let everybody know where they can find you, Brian.
Okay, so you can find me online, deckardandcompany.com, and is spelled out. Can't put ampersands in there. And you can find me on YouTube. I'm really getting into I'm trying to build my YouTube channel like everybody else. So you can find me on YouTube at Deckard Company. And you can always give us a call from any of those, and we'll be more than happy to assist you in whatever you need to look good. That's the whole idea of a marketing company, make you look good.
Cool. Yeah, I put that in the description below. I'll put your YouTube channel down there too, because
subscribe to Brian's YouTube channel. He's been doing Marketing Monday live streams, right? Is that what they're called? Yeah. So every Monday he does a live stream. If you want to check those out, his last one was really good. If we follow us at Wiki Design, subscribe if you haven't already. Get our SEO checklist.
Yes. Yep. You have to buy it. No. It will help with a cup of coffee. This will be full of coffee. See, look, I need some. I have no coffee. I have nothing in here.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
And thank you so much for doing this, Brian.
Oh, absolutely. It's my pleasure. It was fun. Thanks for the invite.
Yeah.
Yes. Hopefully we can do it again. Yeah.
All right. Talk to you soon, everybody.
Thank you. Bye.